Hi friends, welcome to this next edition of What's Poppin'. Today we're going to be talking about high float and the uses of high float and actually what the goal is with using high float. Now, as most of you are aware, with some of the helium issues that we've had over the past few years, getting the most life out of our balloons has become critically important, and just briefly want to go through some of the high float ideas that we have and how to actually put the high float in your balloon, how to inflate that balloon with the high float, and some of the things you can expect when you're using that product. Okay, so this is our gallon of high float. Now, high float comes in a couple different sizes, comes in a liter bottle as well as a gallon. We typically only carry the gallon because we work with a lot of our balloon decorators and friends out there that are in the business that need a lot of capacity or actually a lot of volume of high float. So we sell them by the gallon. Now, there's a few different types of high float. We only recommend one type, and that's the ultra high float. You tend to get better performance out of that particular product putting in your balloons. There are some other lines of high float. The ultra high float tends to be the most expensive, but at the same time, you're getting the longest life out of the balloons. One of the things you'll need with the actual gallon of high float is the gallon high float pump kit. Now, this pump kit, it comes basically with a couple of different clips. Now, there's different color clips that denote for different sizes of balloons. So, for example, if a purple clip is on your actual high float pump kit, that's going to be for your 11-inch balloon. Now, typically I've found that when we're doing a lot of high float balloons for our upcoming events, etc., we don't need to use the entire pump of high float with that clip on there. Sometimes we can use half as much and the balloons will perform just as well. But there's some directions in there from the manufacturer what clips work best for what size balloons. Simply, you're just going to clip that onto the actual pump kit itself, and we're going to go through that in the next segment here. Okay, in this segment we're actually going to go through the process of actually putting high float inside of a balloon. We have an 11-inch red balloon here. Just briefly want to go through what we're looking at. So first we have our gallon of high float or ultra high float here. We have our pump kit that's already installed, and basically you'll notice here this pump kit, the actual high float is going to come out of this little tube, and what's nice about it is it's at a 90-degree angle. The reason the manufacturer went to that is it kind of prevents the high float from leaking out. Also, when we're actually putting the high float in the latex balloon, we want to avoid getting a high float in the neck. That helps us a lot for balloon decorators when we're going to tie the balloon, then the high float isn't leaking out, and it's not getting all over our equipment as well. So really nice idea that the manufacturer added in there. Really appreciate it. You'll also notice here that it actually has a clip on it. Now, again, like I said in the prior segment, is that there's going to be different color clips for different size balloons. So in this case, we've got a purple clip for our 11-inch balloon. So what we're going to do first, we're going to take off our little red stopper here. Get that out of the way there. We'll take our 11-inch red balloon. What we're going to do is we're going to slide the neck right onto this 90-degree angle here, okay? Now you'll notice here at the top, I'm just going to go ahead and push down. We'll go to pump it in there. Now, as I said in the earlier segment too, sometimes you don't need to make the entire pump you don't want to put too much high float in the balloon. Typically what I'll do is I'll do half as much as recommended, but it's really up to you. You can check out the manufacturer's recommendations for the type of balloons and how much high float to use, but typically I like to use half as much. So in this case, we'll go ahead and put that in there. And what we want to do is we want to put the high float into the body of the balloon down here. All right, so kind of pull that up nice and tight, give it a little pump. All right, go and release that. And as I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the neck of the balloon all the way down this 90-degree angle here and pinch it off so I can try to get all the high float out of there so it doesn't leak inside my neck. Next, what I'm going to do is the high float's in here. We're going to go ahead and rub this around into the body of the balloon. Now, the reason we do that, we want to coat the inside of the balloon as much as possible. Okay, so in the next segment, we'll go ahead and inflate this, and I'll show you guys how to tie this off. Okay, in this segment we're actually going to go over inflating our balloon with our high float. Now, we have our small 55 cubic foot here, and like we talked about in prior videos that we've done, in our What's Poppin' videos, we have our deluxe regulator on here as well. So we'll go and we'll go and turn our tank on here. Now, remember the high float, we want to make sure that our high float, we move it around in the body of the balloon, is real. We want to coat that real well, okay? So, next we're going to go ahead and slide our balloon over the tilt nipple. We'll go ahead and inflate that. Okay, so now we got our 11-inch red balloon. Now, for all you people out there from the 80s, 99 Luftballons, all right? So what we're going to do now is we want to make sure when we're tying this off that we don't want to get any high float coming out of the neck of the balloon. What I like to do for all your balloon decorators out there, a little balloon professional trick, is when we know we're going to tie a lot of balloons, start with 3 fingers, work down to 2, work down to 1. So you don't want to get a blister on your first finger here and have to go up to using 2 fingers. So start with 3, 2, 1, a little nice little trick. So we'll go ahead and tie that off. Okay, there we go. So one thing you're going to notice for all the people using high float out there, you're first going to notice how cold the balloon is. So when the helium hits that high float, it almost freezes it, and it kind of keeps it nice and cold inside there. Initially, when the high float's wet, the balloon's not going to seem like it's floating real well. That's only because there's a lot more weight in the balloon, and so as the as the high float starts to dry, the balloon will start to float like it normally should. But if you guys have more questions, be sure to give us a call at 909-982-3301. In closing, just wanted to remind you that even though the high float can be kind of messy from time to time, it is a good way to extend the life of the balloons. For you balloon decorators out there, it's a nice way to offer some more value to your clients, knowing that their balloons are going to stay up a little bit longer. If you have any more questions about high float, any type of the accessories that we offer that deal with high float as well, just give us a call at 909-982-3301.